Hi guys, good morning to all and a happy Easter to wish you a happy Easter. Today we are going to solve a new lead code problem, that is the count number of subarrays with fixed bounds. We have to count the number of subarrays with some fixed bounds. Here the bounds means we have been given the minimum k and the maximum k, where the minimum k is the minimum element and maximum k is the maximum element. That is why here we given as the minimum element as 1 and maximum element as 5, and we have been given an array. So we have to count the number of subarrays in which it should contain in which the subarray should contain the minimum element as 1 and the maximum element as 5. So then only it holds the condition, and we consider the subarray as uh, then we should count the type of those subarrays, right? Let's say uh, first of all we will try to see the examples. Here we have been given an array 1 3 5 2 7 5. Let's say 1 3 5 and 1 3 5 2 and 1 3 5 2 and again. Let's see, yeah, that's it. See, here we have here we consider the subarray 135, and again I have considered the another subarray 1352. Here the maximum element in this is 5, maximum element is 5 and minimum element is 1. And if you can observe here, the maximum element is 5 and the minimum element is 1. Let me consider another subarray, that is 13527. Here the maximum element is 1, which how much it is 7, and the minimum element is 1. Here our condition fails, so it is not the valid subarray. We have to consider this type of subarrays, and here the total answer is 2 because only 2 valid subarrays are present. So what could be my approach? Hmm, let's say we'll consider 13727. We'll consider the new page 1375275. So what could be my approach? So first of all, I will try to find the first index, I mean the index of the maximum element and the minimum element, right? Because see, if I can find the index of maximum element and the minimum element, then it could be easy for me to find out the number of subarrays. Then it could be easy for me to find out the number of subarrays, right? So for that, I will consider two variables, maximum and minimum. Maximum and minimum. I will initialize these variables initially with -1, and also I will consider one of the variable, that is invalid index. I will initialize the value -1 because let's say uh, consider 1352. It is good, right? Because here we will be having the maximum element as 5 and the minimum element as 1. Whenever I reach to 7, it is going to be invalid subarray because here the maximum element is going to be 7 and is going to replace the 5, so it is the invalid subarray. So for this type of conditions, I am considering the invalid index. You guys will understand why I am solving the problem, or while I am explaining my intuition. Let's say at I is equal to 0, I will check whether it is the one is out of bounds, right? So out of bounds means it should be less than the minimum element, or it should be greater than the maximum element. Then we should not include this element in our subarray, I mean the final result in that subarray, right? So for that type of condition, I will check 1. Is it going to be invalid? No, because it is the minimum element that I need. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Min k is 1 and max k is going to be 5. So at I is equal to 0, 1, it is going to be minimum element, right? So I will minimum of 5 is equal to 0. Minimum of 5 is going to 0 at I is equal to 0. So finally I will try to consider the answer. Let's say and consider one of the answer variable. So it is equal to minimum index of maxi comma mini minus the invalid index. It is the main logic, it is the core part of this program. Let's say what is the minimum index here? The maximum contains -1 and the minimum contains 0 and it is -1. It is going to give 0 because see here we are because here we only found the minimum element, that is 1, and we haven't found the maximum element, that is 5, right? So we cannot find a valid subarray. So whenever the answer is going to be less than or equal to 0, for final result we're going to include as 0. Otherwise I will try to give the answer. Whenever the answer is going to be less than or equal to 0, I will return the 0. I'm going to return the answer. So it will be my approach. Let's dry run the approach once so you will guys come to understand. Array 357 352 7 and I is equal to 0. My minimum index is going to be 0. Here I forgot to write minimum k1, max k is 5, right? So here the answer is going to be max of -1 and 0 minus invalid index. How much? Invalid index is -1 as of now. It's going to be 0. And I'm not going to store any value in the final result variable because we haven't found any kind of valid subarray. But I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. That means we are in the subarray 1 3. It is not the maximum element, nor it is the neither it is the maximum element nor it is the minimum element. But it is valid, right? Because see, it is not out of bounds. It is it not it won't less than the minimum element as well as it is not greater than the maximum element. But it is valid, right? So I won't do anything. I'll move to the next index. 2. Here it is 5. See, we found the maximum element. Maximum index is 2. Maximum index is 2. We'll try to find minimum of what is the maximum index. It is 2 and the minimum index. I found this minimum element of the index 0. And what is the invalid index? Consider the sub. Finally, initially, I consider the invalid index as -1, right? Is the -1. 0 minus of -1 is going to give 1. It's going to give 1. See, it is valid, right? 135. In this subarray, we have the maximum element as 1 and minimum element as maximum element as 5 and minimum element as 1. So it is the valid subarray, right? So our answer is going to be 1 here. I'm going to store 1. And let's come to try to remove this. To confuse me. Let's say whenever I reach to I is equal to 3, that is the element 2, still we'll be having the subarray, right? Before we got the valid subarray at 135 and 135 is also valid at index 3 as well. So answer can be, which is the minimum element? Minimum element is 0. I got the maximum element at 2. And invalid index is still -1. I got +1 again. So we got 2 plus 1s because two values are there. See, it is the main condition. I move to index 4, whenever I move to index 4, 7 is index out of bounds, right? It is the index, I mean the element out of bounds. Uh, it is greater than the maximum element. So if I consider 7 in the subarray, it violates the condition because in the subarray the maximum element should have only 5. The maximum integer should be 5, but it is 7, so it is invalid. So just apply the formula. Minimum is 0, maximum is 2. What is the invalid? We found the invalid element at the index 4. It is going to give minus 4. It is less than or equal to 0. I mean less than 0. So we're not going to add any kind of answer. Then move to the next index. At I is equal to 5, still we got 0 comma 2 minus 4. It is less than or equal to 0. So finally we are going to return the value, I mean answer as 2. So I will consider one of the example with duplicate elements. You guys will understand easily. Let's say array is 4 4 5 4 4 2 5. Minimum element should be 2. Sorry, maximum element should be 5. In the subarray, the minimum element should be 2 and the maximum element should be 5. Let's say I am at the index I is equal to 0 and the element is 4. It is not the bigger element than 5, right? It is not the bigger element than 5, and it is greater than the minimum element. So it is valid. So I will move to the next. So same kind of thing at index I is equal to 1. But let's say here I found the minimum element. At index I is equal to 2, I found the minimum element. So I will store this index at mini 2. As of now, I haven't found any maximum index. So at I is equal to 3, I found the maximum index. It is 3. Now I have one subarray, right? I can easily say that because I found the minimum index and I found the maximum index. So the answer can be minimum of 2 comma 3. Invalid index. As of now it is minus 1 because I didn't found any invalid invalid I didn't found any invalid element, right? Because all elements are in this range, I mean 2 to 5, in this between. So I don't, initially the value is minus 1. Minimum is 2, minus of minus 1. I got 3 subarrays. You can ask me, where did you find 3 subarrays? See, 2 comma 5 is valid one, 4 to 5 is valid one, 4 4 2 5 is valid one. So I got 3 subarrays. Because see, here I am considering the minimum index as 2, and before this I didn't find any invalid index, and these are all are valid indices. These all are valid indices. So if I can differentiate, if I can find the difference between these index, I mean the minimum index, the index invalid index initially is minus 1. So I got the answer. 3. Then let's move to the next index. It is 5. Now we also have the same thing. See, now the maximum index becomes 0 1 2 3 4, but no change here. 2 comma minus 1 because I didn't find any invalid index. It is going to give a 3 again. See, now the valid answers are 4 4 2 5 5. It is one of the answer. 4 2 5 is one of the answer. 4 4 2 5 is one of the answer. And 2 5 one of the answer. 2 comma is going to be one of the answer, right? 4 2 4 to 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 to 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 5. Two answers, 4 to 5, like this. So you guys must understand this problem. So I'm going to solve this. What I'm going to do is, let's say I will consider two variables, x minus 1 is going to give minus 1, and this initially is 0. Everything through each and every element. Whenever I found that uh, nums of I is less than minimum of k, or nums of I maximum of k. For my convenience, I am changing this capital letters to small. Simply, I can do is I will consider one of the invalid index x as I, and I forgot to. Let's say some of the cases are there. If nums of I is equal to min of k, what I will do is I is equal to I, and if just I will simply copy this code. Don't want to waste the time. I found the maximum element simply max k is equal to answer is equal to, let's see, minimum of max k, mini max, max mini minus store this in, if answer is less than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 0, I will try to return as 0, otherwise I will send the answer. That's it. Try to return the answer. Sorry, it is the result. I have to return. It's a global variable, right? That's fine. Yeah. Let's see submit. successfully completed, and thank you. Subscribe and like it.